great morning to you. It's your girl Key. What are you grateful for today? Remember, gratitude is an important skill to learn, to focus on what you do have rather than what you don't. Today I'm grateful for this car. I'm grateful for the jump leads that my dad left at home because I left the lights on and it wouldn't start. Bless my 20-year-old car. And so what I wanted to talk about today is being an optional extra in somebody's life. So if you're single, you're looking for love, or you may have met someone and you like them, but you start to notice the man's treating you like an optional extra, like a condiment, you know, a sauce that accompanies your meal, but it's not necessarily essential. You know, optional extras. When you go to buy a car, there may be optional extras like leather seats or cameras or a sat nav. It's not essential to the car, but it's an optional extra. And if you are starting to feel like an optional extra, a condiment to the individual that you're seeing, you've got feelings for, you need to be real with yourself. You need to be clear with yourself that actually this relationship is probably going to be on his terms, in which sense you have to accept what you're given. Now, often us females can go on campaign make you love me, or campaign moan about how you treat me, and if you choose to do so, then know that you are using up your energy. And the more I am a psychotherapist, the more I'm very interested in energy, because everything is energy. If you're interested in this, Google Bruce Lipton, start listening to some of the kind of the doctors, the theorists who are talking about energy. Everything is energy. So the same energy that you channel into moaning or trying to make that person value you, know your worth, is the same energy that you can channel in a different direction to create something else. Let's call it X. And when I think about that, and I think about my relationships and where I am today, I remember when I was an optional extra, condiment, not necessary, cool when I feel like it. I used to use my energy in a way where I would be the good girl, be accepting, not challenge too much, try and have the conversation with that individual. But ultimately, it was a fruitless campaign, and my energy was being distributed into a situation that I could not change. When we use our energy in situations that we cannot change, we are losing our personal power. And now a loss of personal power is linked to depression. Yeah, so I want you to be encouraged, and I really want you to think about how you use your energy, not only in terms of your intimate relationships, but also how do you use your energy in your life. Because Queen, if you are trying to use your energy to change situations that are beyond your control, you will lose your power. It's a little bit like when you have the GPS, I don't know about you, but on my phone, if I leave my maps open, my GPS open, Google Maps, then my battery goes down particularly fast. So I have to close all the apps to reserve the energy for the phone. And that's what I'd encourage you to think about yourself. Like, what do you need to close down in order to preserve your energy? Because if you don't guard your energy will be drained. And when our energy is drained, we have lost power. And like I said before, personal power and depression, a loss of personal power and depression are very closely interlinked. I don't know if your doctors will be telling you this when you go there when you're feeling blue. Often people are being given tablets and don't have the space to explain, or we're being put on waiting lists where we are, well, literally waiting for therapy, one hopes, or an assessment. And then maybe, as I understand, people are doing CBTC, so they're using computers being asked questions. in order to get treatment. In my view, we need human contact. So that is one of the reasons why I've done the Feel Loved program, which starts this Saturday, and it will be happening every quarter in the year, where I bring people together who are curious, who are ready to understand their intimate relationships dilemma with the ambition of finding healthy, wholesome love. You know, so it's not that we just want to go back and slag off Bob, Dick and Gerard. We want to understand what those relationships were showing us, what they were revealing to us, so that we can use that information to move forward. And so for me, one of the key factors anytime we're looking at relationships is, what was the hook? Ladies, rude girls, we need to understand what is the hook. What hooked us into that individual? Or when was that moment when you knew that he was a strong contender? Or if you put it more in a more raw fashion, when did you know that you were going to give him the good? Yeah? Because usually there's a moment, something happens when you're like, you see that brother through different eyes. And so the hook is really important for us to understand, because it means we know the guys that we're going to be vulnerable to, susceptible in the future, but we also have a check as to whether what we like is good for us. You see, because I might like KFC, but one can't eat that every day. It's not good for the waistline. Okay, so being aware of the hooks is especially important for us, and we need to start asking ourselves questions as to whether, is it good for me? Yes, is it good for me? We also will be looking at boundaries. Ladies, if we don't protect the lady flower, then we know that people will come along and violate, and that is not healthy for us. Borders and boundaries, I call B&B, is where we look at how you safeguard your greatness, how you safeguard your lady flower, because let's be honest, your lady flower is the key, it's the secret passage to you. Now, if you don't agree with that, that's fine, that's your prerogative. But I believe we are letting people inside of us, and naturally that impacts on our mind, it impacts on our energy. And so borders and boundaries is especially important in intimate relationships. We also look at feeling good enough. Ladies, I tell you, we are being programmed to hate ourselves. We are being programmed to feel inadequate about ourselves. And when I think about like television, media, the plenty of people that I've seen in my work as a therapist, and it can be from absolutely epically beautiful, average, the whole gamut. Women feel inadequate about themselves because of X or Y or Z. And so how do we feel good enough? Because feeling good enough is important for our intimate relationships. Because if we go around putting ourselves down or not honoring who we are, then people, unscrupulous characters, can pick up on that. And we know that that's a really important factor in terms of narcissistic abuse. So it's also about, how do you begin to rate you, actually accept yourself as you are. And yeah, you may have ambitions to be, I don't know, a size smaller or drop some weight. Okay, fair enough. But how can you accept yourself in the here and now? Because so many of us aren't accepting ourselves. We don't like who we are, and sometimes we don't even look at ourselves thoroughly in the mirror. And so whilst I won't be doing any mirror exercises, that's for the one-to-ones, it's important that we start to get a sense of, it's okay to be me as I am. So these are some of the factors that impact on our intimate relationships, and the more that we can develop these skills, so it's really important that we begin to develop skills to help ourselves. My hope is that that will assist you in finding healthy, wholesome love, because